Commanders. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final two bring us as we're off in Week 9?
Fields this way up at the 17. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
They start the drive with Cook. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be second down.
Well, this defense for the Commanders, they were excellent a week ago in that victory over Indianapolis.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just...
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
And that's the first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks. Great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
I don't think this is the script they had in mind for their opening drive. This is 3rd and long. Now Cousins. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
And here's Ryan Wright now,
as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. Fielded just inside the 30. A great return there of 22 yards.
And Washington will have a short field here as they take over 1st and 10. Now a 1,000-yard rusher a season ago, Antonio Gibson with it.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. On play action, Wentz. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
So, CD, you look at this offense and what they've been able to do. 8-0, perfect through the first 2 months of the year. Second half of the season still to come, we get that. But what kind of a percentage chance do you think that they have of running the table?
Partner, I think it's hard to say because history would tell us that the chances aren't good at all. We've seen a lot of good teams get to this point.
And he takes it in for a Commanders touchdown. Logan Thomas,
his 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Commanders get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And, Charles, you look at these two teams, and these are those kind of litmus test games in the second half of the season that if you're a coach or a player, you can either really look forward to them or really dread them, depending on your point of view.
And if you're dreading them, you're not going to go very far in the playoffs. You need to look forward to these kind of games because here we've got 2 division leaders, both real contenders for the NFC title. And you're right, you love having easy games on your schedule, but you need some games like this to toughen you up a bit and ensure that you're ready for the shot of playoff football.
Chase Young in there to get him, and on the season now is 9 sacks for him. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he rolls his guys up on a 3rd and long. He'll look to throw.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
In a double coverage, and it's intercepted.
picked off by Cameron Curl. It's such a costly interception, nearly a pick six, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it.
And he will take it in. Touchdown, Commanders. Antonio Gibson, his fifth rushing touchdown now on the year. And the Commanders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And it's now 14-0. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Cousins throw there, taken in by Smith. And they work this well upfield across the 45. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
You can almost hear the sigh of relief coming from their sideline and from their point on the field because this has been a tough start for them thus far. A much-needed first down there. They've needed something good to happen. Plays like that will continue to help them dig out of this hole.
And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage.
Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Cousins gives way to Cook.
And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22.
He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Cousins. And he's going to be taken down. Back around the 35-yard line.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him in the pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
4th down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph from Minnesota.
And he missed it. It's no good.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Here's Gibson to start the drive. And a nice job to break free of one tackle. Momentum somewhat, and he's taken down right after. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. On the counter, Gibson. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
He'll get this into the hands of Antonio Gibson. Touchdown, Washington! Antonio Gibson with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Commanders take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good, and that makes the score 21-0. So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. Nwangwu now from his end zone. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. If they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
And a big gain that time. He's out of bounds on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 21-0 our score after 1. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Cook now off the read option. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
That is caught by Thielen. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. Cook is not going to get a whole lot, maybe a yard down to the 3. Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal.
Dalvin Cook so good in the open field, but he's equally good down here near the goal line. He can find those seams and just push his way through. So he might get another chance or two to punch this one in.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yes, let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit...
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Jalen Reagor from 3 yards out. And the Vikings are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Joseph connects on the extra point, and they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense.
They do, because to me this is a good measuring stick game because they've been able to take advantage of the schedule. But here, this is another team leading its division with an eye on making a Super Bowl run, so this game is crucial.
They run with the Alabama rookie. That's Brian Robinson. And only able to get 2 here. Stopped at the 30. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. There's Robinson showing the flash. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Washington.
I know I should keep the focus and the spotlight on the hero that just scored, but tackling's been an issue for this defense all game long. I can't set that aside. We just saw it again here. Missed tackles leads to his long touchdown run.
The extra point by Sly is up and good.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns in 21. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And in hindsight, probably should. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up, and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see what...
Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off by Bobby McCain.
And the Commanders are going to take over at their own 41. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Throwing is Wentz. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, that's what they have to do more of defensively, not just getting sacks, but they have to keep getting in his face, not let him get his feet set and deliver. He's been carving them up previously.
Yeah, already has a couple of touchdown passes. About time they put a few grass stains on that jersey. And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line. Wentz going to throw. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. Looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down inbounds. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Wentz. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That's good for 28 yards.
Boy, how about the speed with which this offense can get down the field? It's taken them no time at all to get down here, and now they're set up with a 1st and goal.
They'll run with Gibson.
And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. On 2nd and goal, Wentz.
Touchdown, Washington.
3 touchdown passes now for Carson Wentz.
And the Commanders are able to add on to their first half lead.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And the rout is on here in this first half.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up the score.
Now a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
On third down, Cousins.
Got an open man finding Jefferson.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. On first and 10, Cousins. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Bobby McCain.
And the Commanders are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. The tackle there by Patrick Peterson. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here.
Second half about to start. The Commanders have the lead. They'll get it first as we are back underway. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And the first half definitely went their way, and this would seem to be a great opportunity to kind of put this game a little closer out of reach with a score here.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful opportunity for them because if they can add 7 more to their lead before the other guys even see the football, that could be the decisive blow in this game. I think that's how they're eyeing it. That's how they're approaching it.
Slings this deep from McLaurin. And the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Washington. Carson Wentz with touchdown pass number 4 on the afternoon.
And the Commanders come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Sly on for the extra point.
And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter.
Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away.
And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Here's Cousins. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked up by Jamin Davis. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. So after the INT, here's Wentz.
Going to be caught downfield by Dotson. Touchdown! Jahan Dotson.
36 yards.
And the Commanders have taken a 6-touchdown lead. Well, familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Bobby McCain. Yes, folks, that is his 3rd interception, and I'm going to use one of the most overused phrases in football. He's a ball-hawking safety.
I love the way that you called for the shot there. That's perfect, though, because there is something to that. Being a safety often allows you freedom to roam around the defense, maybe not a specific assignment. Today, his assignment, find the football, and he's done so quite well.
3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not a lot of running room there, not a place to make a cut and kind of exit out because they had everything bottled up. Looked to me like the linemen were taking on their blocks really well and giving up no creases.
On 2nd down, here's Gibson again.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line.
42 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
They'll go again with Gibson.
And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now they'll throw it. Wentz. This to McLaurin out on the left side. And take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They've let these receivers run wild. And here's another completion for good yardage.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 46.
Straight ahead, Gibson.
And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
On 2nd and a yard. Wentz. He'll rifle this one deep right side.
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. Well, with the size of lead that this offense has, I don't think that interception is really going to affect them much. But at least for this defense, something small to hang their hat on.
Yeah, and let's face it, they're not even scoreboard watching anymore, right? They're just trying their best to make a play, get themselves off the field, which they just did, and salvage a little bit of pride in this one.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball.
And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
And it's Washington that scoops it up.
And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
So that play, I mean, it was pretty well blown up from the start, and it results in a turnover.
Yeah, when you're running the option like that as a quarterback, you have so many different keys and reads to make that sometimes as you're making them, you're not protecting the ball the way you should.
Touchdown, Washington.
Terry McLaurin, 33 yards.
And the Commanders get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead. Well, on the other sideline right now, it's just absolute dejection. But, Charles, let's focus on the positive. With the lead that they built here, they've done pretty much everything to perfection in this ball game.
They certainly have. Makes me think that their week of preparation was excellent. And they flowed into this game, and it carried over. And right now, I don't expect them to back off at all. They're playing so well, they just want to keep it going.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, it's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. A turnover on the last drive. They had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Jamin Davis. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football.
What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It give it and it take it away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field, despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. The turnover put them in great field position. They don't want to squander it with third down coming up.
No, not at all. And you know what else you do? You make your defense mad.
Yeah.
They got you the football, gave you a great opportunity. You got to cash in and get some points.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I thought that was a completed pass until he came in and forced the ball from his hands. Not only did he make a nice play, he brings up fourth down.
Wentz to the sideline on fourth down. Joey Sly is out there now for the Washington field goal.
It'll come from the right hash. It's a 47-yard attempt.
Sly able to put this one through.
And that will extend their lead even further.
So the interception set him up with terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw complete to his receiver, Thielen.
And they take this up near the 30 before he's taken down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch. Back now at FedEx Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. Off the play fake, Cousins. And my goodness, another interception.
And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. On play action, it's Wentz. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Well, their passing attack, even though that one was incomplete, has been really sharp in this one. It's resulted in a lot of touchdowns, and it looks like they're not going to stop throwing the football until the very end of this one.
Well, that will certainly make everyone involved on offense pretty happy because that gives them all a chance to pad their stats a bit. But as far as the actual need, you and I both know they can just run this clock out because this one, it was over a long time ago. I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a fourth down.
They'll go for it. It's Wentz.
Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. Touchdown, Washington.
A 9-yard touchdown there.
And the Commanders add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. Extra point by Sly is up and good.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead.
Kick team out there for the Commanders as they send this one away.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers you would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again. They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they...
Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And this will be incomplete. Oh, can you believe this? That one probably should have been picked too. Instead, it's 4th down.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
And this one is incomplete. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th.
And Washington will take control of the football in great field position. On 1st and 10, it's Gibson.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Out left to Dotson. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
The offense on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. Here it's 3rd and 3.
And they'll try and run the option to pick it up.
That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down.
Well, so much for that possession.
Yeah, I think he tried to do a little too much there, partner. He tried to keep it himself. Ended up getting buried in the backfield, and that brings up 4th down.
Sly able to put this one through. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result...
opportunity.
Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away.
And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. A partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Play fake. Cousins. Throw left side complete. That's Cook.
Finding space at the 40.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Play action now. Cousins.
And this one incomplete. Threw it down at the feet of his receiver.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football.
Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted off from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pass him.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
So possession still theirs, but now they face a third down. Now Cousins. And now here's another interception. Picked up by Benjamin St-Juste. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football. Yet another mistake after the interception there. And guys, you look up at the scoreboard, they just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter. Zadarius Smith able to get him down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown. So a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now. Hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
That's going to be caught, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Slide for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Nwanger now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team.
And that's caught inside the 30. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Joseph on for the extra point. And they make the score a little bit more respectable here in our final quarter of play. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line. So bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision. Loses him about 4 yards. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they just continue to roll right along, really. This has the looks of yet another victory as they hope to polish it off here in quarter number 4. And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. Well, fans usually love to see scores.